Greetings, Africa and its mighty diaspora. From the streets of Chicago to the red, dusty boulevards of Ouagadougou, from Kingston to Kinshasa, this is the X-Man coming at you 10 toes down, hoodie pulled tight, heart locked in, and eyes wide open. Today, my people, we got fire in the hole. A storm is tearing across our continent, but this is no act of nature. This is a storm of betrayal, an inside job funded with 30 pieces of silver wrapped in a crisp European Union flag. Last month, the European Union quietly wired $126 million to Sierra Leone, dressing it up as regional security support. They said it was for West Africa's stability. They said it was to fight terror threats. But you and I know code words when we hear them. The threat they fear isn't bandits or desert raiders. The threat is spelled with three names the whole Sahel chants with pride. Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso, Colonel Assimi Goïta of Mali, and General Abdourahmane Tiani of Niger, leaders of the Alliance of Sahel States, the AES. These brothers have done what Paris and Brussels swore could never be done. They kicked out French troops, nationalized their resources, and lit a Pan-African fire the old empires can't put out. So who did the EU tap to kill this revolution from the inside? Julius Maada, president of Sierra Leone and conveniently freshly minted chair of ECOWAS. The ink on his appointment wasn't even dry before he grabbed a microphone and demanded that the Sahel leaders return to constitutional rule. Constitutional rule? Whose constitution, Mr. Bio? The one drawn up in European boardrooms and rubber-stamped in colonial capitals? The people of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger already gave their verdict at the ballot of courage and sacrifice. Yet, Bio read his script like a man on a payroll, because he is. Brussels slid the cash across the table and he signed the contract with his soul. Let's break down the receipts. The $126 million package was announced in early September 2025 in Freetown. EU diplomats called it a comprehensive security partnership. They smiled for the cameras and spoke of counterterrorism cooperation, but behind closed doors they made it clear: use your new ECOWAS gavel to isolate the AES, sanction them, starve them, demand elections on European timetables, and if they refuse, choke their trade, freeze their accounts, and prepare the ground for humanitarian intervention. Same playbook they ran in Libya, in Côte d'Ivoire, in the Congo. Different decade, same colonial game. What tears me up is not that Europe is scheming. That's what snakes do. What burns me up is that an African brother is holding the knife. Julius Maada took that money knowing exactly what it meant. He knows our history. He knows how Patrice Lumumba was unalived in 1961 with Belgian bullets and CIA whispers. He knows how Thomas Sankara was betrayed in 1987, unalived for daring to keep Burkina Faso's wealth for Burkinabe children. He knows the price of dancing with the devil, and still he chooses silver over solidarity. Why, Julius? Why choose the chains your ancestors died fighting to break? Why take Europe's dirty coins to sabotage men who are finally proving that Africa can stand tall without a colonial foot on its neck? What makes you look at Captain Traoré, barely 36 years old, already reclaiming gold mines and farmland for his people, and decide to side with the same Europeans who stole Sierra Leone's diamonds and left its people bleeding for centuries? What makes you ignore the lesson that France is collapsing under its own history when the African lifeline is cut? Look around, brother. Paris is already burning. France's debt has shot past 114% of GDP, rising by 2,700 euros every second, while two of its prized nuclear plants sit cold because Niger said no more uranium for free. 57 major French companies, energy giants, construction firms, mining conglomerates have folded since the AES closed the resource pipeline. Protest smoke chokes the boulevards of Paris, Leone, and Marseille. Europe's birth rates are in the toilet. The so-called Hall of Fame civilization can't even replace its own population. And you, Julius, are betting on them? That's not strategy, that's suicide. Hold up. Now, if this message is hitting your chest like a djembe drum, like it should, then smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, and share this video across every corner of your social media platforms. Share it with your mama, your pops, your uncles, aunties, cousins, and your crew. Because this ain't entertainment. This ain't TikTok. This ain't Netflix. This is Africa's revolution, and Africa needs all hands on deck. By sharing this video, you're stepping into the fight like your life depends on it, because it does. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, Julius Bio and the EU's bag of betrayal. Let's talk about what the AES has done to earn such hatred. Burkina Faso under Traore has nationalized gold mines and kicked out the French military entirely, reclaiming more than 40% of territory once held by foreign armed terrorists. Mali, under Assimi Goïta, ended every defense pact with Paris and brought security forces fully under Malian control. Niger, under Abdourahmane Tiani, shut down uranium exports that powered 70% of France's electricity grid. Together, they formed the Alliance of Sahel States in late 2023, a mutual defense pact that says an attack on one is an attack on all. That alliance is the single biggest threat to Western neo-colonial power since the first Pan-African Congress in 1900. And that's why Brussels is sweating bullets and tossing euros like grenades. The EU thought Bio could fracture that wall, but here's what Brussels doesn't understand. This ain't your granddaddy's Africa of old. The youth of Ouagadougou, Bamako, and Niamey have buried too many cousins, too many dreams to be bought off now. They've watched the West unalive leaders who dared to dream: Lumumba, Sankara, Gaddafi. They've seen IMF loans turn into economic chains. They know democracy can be a weapon and foreign aid a bribe. And they will not let another suit and tie mercenary sell them back into slavery. Mark this date, August 2025, the month Europe's last hope to stop the Sahel revolt was wired into a Sierra Leone bank account. History will remember it not as a moment of stability, but as the day ECOWAS revealed itself as a colonial echo chamber. Once created to defend West African independence, ECOWAS now acts like a subcontractor for Brussels, issuing threats against Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger while staying silent on the real exploiters. And while Bio is out there cooning, the AES keeps building. They're negotiating cross-border energy corridors with Algeria. They're talking grain self-sufficiency with Sudan. They're training a joint Sahel defense force. African boots, African command, African purpose. They've even started early talks on a gold-backed currency to end the CFA franc once and for all. That's the blueprint for continental sovereignty, and every African capital from Accra to Addis Ababa, Lagos to Lilongwe, Nairobi to Windhoek ought to be studying it right now. Brothers and sisters, let's call this what it is. The betrayal of Africa is no longer coming only from Europe or America. It comes from the palaces of our own presidents who would rather be gatekeepers than liberators. But betrayal has an expiration date. The people of Sierra Leone are already questioning Bio's choices. The streets of Freetown are whispering, "Not in our name." Across the continent, millions are watching and remembering. So I say this to Julius Maada Bio: history is not on your side. You may hold the ECOWAS gavel, but you don't hold the heart of Africa. You may spend Europe's money, but you cannot buy back your integrity. And when the books are written, you will not be hailed as a peacemaker. you will be footnoted as the man who tried to sell Africa's second independence and failed. And to Captain Ibrahim Traoré, Colonel Assimi Goïta, General Abdourahmane Tiani, stand firm. Your courage has already sent France's empire into free fall. Your alliance has shown that a united Africa can do more than resist. It can win. The world is watching, the ancestors are watching, and every child born under the African sun deserves the freedom you are carving out today. No sellouts, no filters, no fear. This is the X-Man signing off.